January 2026 is not just another month. It's not a calendar change. It's not a fresh quote. It's not a promise you'll forget by February. January 2026 is a mirror. It will show you exactly who you've become and exactly who you've been avoiding. This is not about motivation. This is about resetting your direction, restarting your standards, and refocusing your life before another year slips away. Because if you don't reset now, you'll repeat again. Before you build anything new, you must clear what's broken. Reset does not mean quitting your life. It means removing what no longer deserves your energy. Your phone trained your attention to scatter. Your comfort trained your discipline to weaken. Your excuses trained your future to wait. January 2026 is your chance to interrupt that pattern. Reset means asking hard questions. What habits are draining me? What routines are fake productivity? What distractions am I calling rest? What promises have I broken to myself? Reset is uncomfortable because it removes your lies. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because their life is cluttered with things that feel good but go nowhere. Scrolling, complaining, overthinking, waiting. Reset means silence. No noise, no comparison, no opinions. Just clarity. You cannot refocus a distracted mind. You must reset it first.
Restarting is not about confidence. It's about humility. Restarting means accepting that some things you thought would work didn't. And that's not weakness, that's awareness. January 2026 doesn't ask you to be perfect, it asks you to be honest. Restarting means doing simple things seriously. Waking up on time, finishing what you start, showing up even when motivation disappears. Restarting means letting go of the fantasy version of success and committing to the boring version of progress. You don't restart loudly, you restart quietly. No announcements, no countdowns, no pressure to prove anything, just daily execution. Restarting means building trust with yourself again, because confidence is not motivation. Confidence is kept promises, small promises, daily promises, uncelebrated promises. That's how identity rebuilds.
Focus is not about doing more. It's about doing less better. January 2026 demands priorities, not goals written once, but behaviors repeated daily. Refocus means choosing one direction and cutting everything that pulls you sideways. You don't need 10 plans, you need one commitment. You don't need intensity, you need consistency. Focus means saying no often. No to distractions, no to comfort, no to people who drain your energy, no to habits that steal your future quietly. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you say no to your potential. Refocus is discipline with purpose. January is dangerous because it creates excitement without structure. People feel motivated, but motivation fades fast. By mid-February, most people return to who they were. Same habits, same routines, same regret. Why? Because they never changed their standards. They tried to feel different instead of living different. January 2026 will expose this. It will reward people who create rules, not moods, build systems, not wishes, choose discipline over emotion. Change doesn't happen when you feel ready. It happens when you act anyway.
Your life does not change when your goals change. Your life changes when your identity changes. Ask yourself, who is the person January 2026 requires? Not who you want to be admired as, but who you must become to handle progress. Disciplined people don't rely on hype. They rely on routines. Focused people don't argue with their schedule, they follow it. Strong people don't negotiate with weakness, they replace it with action. January 2026 is asking you to upgrade your identity, not your motivation.
Here's something most people never understand. The quiet phase is the most powerful phase. No one claps when you reset. No one celebrates when you restart. No one notices when you refocus. And that's good, because silence removes pressure. Silence removes comparison. Silence builds real strength. You don't need validation in January 2026. You need discipline. Results come later.
If you want January 2026 to matter, you need non-negotiables, not goals, rules. A fixed wake-up time, a daily effort standard, a limit on distractions, a commitment to finish, a refusal to quit when bored. Rules protect you when motivation disappears, and motivation will disappear. Discipline is what stays. You don't need perfect timing. You need action in imperfect conditions. Most people wait for more confidence, more clarity, more motivation, but clarity comes after action, not before it. January 2026 is not asking you to feel strong. It's asking you to act strong, even tired, even unsure, even alone.
January doesn't forgive confusion. If you don't reset, you repeat. If you don't restart, you remain stuck. If you don't refocus, you drift. And drifting feels harmless until months pass and nothing changes. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they never stop long enough to ask, "What am I doing wrong?" They carry the same habits into a new year. Same sleep schedule, same excuses, same distractions, same emotional reactions, and then they blame the year. 2026 is not heavy, your habits are. Resetting means cutting what no longer deserves to come with you. Not everything gets permission to enter this year. Some routines must end. Some relationships must quiet down. Some behaviors must be buried. Resetting is uncomfortable because it requires honesty. And honesty hurts, but repetition hurts more.
Restarting is not announcing. You don't need a speech. You don't need a post. You don't need validation. Restarting is quiet. It looks like waking up earlier without telling anyone, training when motivation is absent, fixing small things consistently, doing boring work without applause. Most people wait for motivation to restart. That's why they never do. Restarting is not emotional, it's mechanical. You don't feel ready, you move anyway. You don't feel confident, you act anyway. Confidence is built after action, not before it. January is not asking for perfection, it's asking for commitment. Not intensity, consistency. Restarting means saying, "I will show up even when nothing is exciting." That decision alone separates you from most people.
Focus is your greatest weapon in 2026. Not hustle, not talent, not luck. Focus. Your phone steals it. Noise fractures it. Comparison poisons it. Refocus means protecting your attention like it matters, because it does. What you focus on daily becomes your future. If you focus on comfort, you weaken. If you focus on discipline, you sharpen. If you focus on growth, you rise. Most people don't lack ability, they lack direction. Refocusing means choosing one path and staying on it long enough to grow. No jumping, no panic, no chasing trends. Slow progress beats scattered effort. January is not about doing more, it's about doing less, but better.
2026 will not reward motivation. It will reward identity. Motivation fades, identity stays. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Ask yourself honestly, who are you becoming daily? Someone who delays or someone who executes? Someone who negotiates or someone who commits? Discipline is not punishment, it's self-respect.
Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust, and trust with yourself is power. January is where identity begins to form, not with big moments, but with boring repetitions. The alarm, the routine, the discipline. Do it long enough, and it becomes who you are.
Do not expect applause. January work is invisible. No one claps for discipline. No one celebrates consistency. No one notices quiet progress. And that's good, because silence removes pressure. Silence removes comparison. Silence removes ego. In silence, you can build properly. Most people quit here, not because it's hard, but because no one is watching. But January was never meant to impress. It was meant to prepare. If you can work without recognition, you're building something real. If you can continue without praise, you're becoming dangerous. Let others talk. Let others announce. Let others chase attention. You chase standards. January 2026 is not asking you to be extreme. It's asking you to be honest. Honest about your habits. Honest about your excuses. Honest about your potential. Reset what's broken. Restart what you abandoned. Refocus on what matters. No drama, no noise, no shortcuts. This year doesn't need a new personality. It needs a disciplined version of you. So before you move forward, stop, breathe, reset, restart, refocus, and then move quietly.
This is not a hype speech. This is a decision moment. 2026 will pass whether you change or not. The question is simple. Will you repeat or will you rebuild? Reset the noise. Restart your discipline. Refocus your direction. No drama, no excuses, no delays. Just daily effort. Before you leave this video, do one thing. Comment one habit you are resetting in January 2026. Not a goal, a behavior. If this message gave you clarity, like the video so it reaches someone who needs it. Share it with someone who keeps restarting but never refocusing. And subscribe if you're done with motivation and ready for discipline that actually changes your life. January 2026 is not waiting. Reset, restart, refocus, and don't look back.